What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Epic Handshake podcast, the podcast about epic people that deserve an epic handshake. You can check us out on Instagram at the Epic Handshake Pod, as well as myself, Adon, at AZ Gear Guy on Instagram as well. Today I have my good buddy Alex Acosta. I've been wanting to interview him for a while. He does a lot of cool things in his life currently. He's done a lot of cool things. He's related to some pretty cool people. But Alex, do you want to introduce yourself? Who are you?
Yeah, I'm Alex Alejandro. That's my my full name, my full Mexicano name.
Alejandro.
So, kind of funny about that is my name's Alejandro Dave Acosta, and my sisters are Mackenzie and Courtney, like the most white names ever, and we're all the same amount of Mexicans. So.
Do they have middle names at all? Like, you don't have to say them, but
yeah, and they both hate their middle names.
Are they Spanish?
No, they're white.
See, at least David, you can at least make it.
Yeah, exactly.
David. It's multilingual, so whatever.
Yeah, that's who I am. I go by Alex a lot at Anchor Clanker on Instagram. If you can find that. I know it's a weird name. I should probably change it, but I had it since I was like 12, so I can't bring myself to change it.
I like it. Okay. I like it. It's easy to find.
And it's like, who else is
Anchor Clanker? Yeah, so. Exactly. Nobody. You
exactly. But yeah, I'm 24, just living life. I like to think I have a pretty dope life. And yeah, I don't know. I really don't know what to introduce myself as. I don't know what I am.
Yeah. What's your background? I mean, where'd you grow up?
Born in Vegas, lived there for a little bit, moved to Seattle for a couple years, but I kind of claim Utah as home. Grew up most of my years here, probably about 15 years here in Utah. So Utah is definitely home. I've lived in Texas, San Diego, and was in the Navy for like 18 months or so.
Sure.
I'm sure we'll get around to that maybe for a second.
Yeah, whatever.
And then after the Navy, I got out and moved back here to Utah, started working for a while, and then actually I shouldn't say stumbled, but my girlfriend introduced me to an awesome dude that's become one of my mentors, and been doing business with him for like a year now, and been living on the road, making passive income and just doing fun stuff. So it's been a great time.
Yeah, and actually that's part of the reason why I think I was so interested in just talking to you too. I mean, besides the fact that you're the son of Dave Acosta, which is cool. That's a cool legacy to follow. But I think one thing I wanted to focus on was that passive income. But we can go into that a little bit later.
Yeah.
But so you grew up in Utah, right? Mm-hmm. What was that like? I mean, I'm from Arizona. Like a lot of people not from Utah listen to this, so. Yeah. So
which is awesome.
Yeah.
If you're listening, you're not from Utah. Utah is epic. Utah is I think it's my favorite state.
I think it is for me too.
I think it's my favorite state.
Although I haven't been to Alaska yet. So
oh really?
I don't
okay.
know.
Yeah. I might have to go up to Alaska and I was thinking about maybe hiding some Connex boxes out there with ammo or something. So
why not?
But no, I love Utah. Having lived in Vegas and some big cities and stuff, Utah was a nice break. And then especially when I lived in San Diego and came back here, it was, I realized really how much, and my mission in Texas too. God bless Texas, love it. But Texas you realize how much Utah has. So yes. I've loved it. I've loved my experience here. I love most of the people, the economy, the patriotism here is awesome. There's so much to do. Like I can hop in my truck and 5-10 minutes I'm in the mountains with no one. I can shoot my guns. I can throw my tin up. I can throw a pole in the water, whatever. So yeah, I freaking love Utah.
Yeah, and you're kind of grasping that a lot right now because you're living the van life.
Yeah.
What's that been like, dude? Like, what? First off, what sparked that, and then what? I mean, I would recommend following him because he's got a lot of cool stories, and his girlfriend, Kat. I'll put both of their handles in the description below, and you can actually follow them on their cool trips and all that stuff. But yeah. What got you into that, man?
So. I've always been entertained by the idea. In fact, actually, when I was a lot younger, and my original plan was, go on my mission, get back, go to the Navy, go to SEAL training, and I wanted to legit live out of a van that whole time.
Yes.
So obviously, it didn't come to fruition. Like I didn't do that when I got into training. You have to obviously be in the barracks during training and stuff. So that didn't happen, and I realized that vans cost money, and when you're in the military, you don't have that. Just for any of you that are wanting to join, you don't have money when you're in the military.
Yeah,
You have free cafeteria food though.
Yeah, for the first 10 years, you're probably a little lower than most people, which sucks. Yes. That's why, dude, one thing about the military that I just can't get over is just these guys and gals go out there and sacrifice their lives, but they're paid like, entry level job.
So funny fact. I know this is a side tangent.
Yeah, you're good. Yeah.
But one of my buddies that he was in buds for he was literally in buds for I think over 12 months.
Oh,
he just kept getting recycled because he kept getting injured. And eventually he got dropped. But he did the math, and with all the hours of training, like on an average week of buds, with all the hours of training, you are usually getting paid, it was like $2.70 an hour or something with what our paycheck was. So
that's ridiculous.
Yeah, man. But I mean, that's just part of the training.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah, that's true. But I feel
it was kind of funny.
You don't start making money like if you're thinking Army standards. I mean, you don't make money until like E10, maybe I don't know E9,
E20, and it doesn't even exist. So
no, it doesn't. But dude, that's crazy. So yeah. So you're living the van life. You just got back from a trip not too long ago. Where were you recently?
We did Colorado, I think, like a week and a half ago.
That's right, and it was spur of the moment.
Yeah, just spur of the moment, and that's the fun thing about it. So kind of circling back to kind of what sparked that is, I always had that interest. I actually lived in my car for the last like 3.5 months that I was in the Navy.
Right.
When I was getting processed out, I lived in my car. I just hated being on base so much, and them having any say or any control over what I did. So I was like, I don't want barracks. I obviously am not going to get BAH because I'm not married, which is off house or off base housing. For those of you guys who are like, what the hell's that? So I lived in my Honda, my 01 Honda Civic for 3.5 months. And I was like, this is actually oddly nice because I can wake up anywhere. I got my clothes in the trunk. And so I was like, you know what, maybe I should kind of revisit that van life idea or mobile living. Always been entertained by it. And then me and Kat met, and kind of to speed things up, we met she knew our buddy Joseph, the one that actually runs the automation program. Yeah. And here he is, this multimillionaire living out of what is now our van, right? And he just had like a bed and a couple cabinets in it, so just the real basics. It wasn't fully built out. And we started hanging out. The pandemic hit, and we actually traveled with him for a few weeks in the van, him and his dogs. Oh, that's cool. And he's like, hey, you know what? I think I'm going to upgrade to a newer van. Do you guys want to buy my van? So I was like, what the hell? But it was really crazy because here she just closed her gym because of the pandemic.
Oh, that's right.
I was just out of the Navy and out of work, and we're like, should we do this? Like, that's pretty risky. We're taking on a $50,000 loan
at such a young age too. That's not like education or other things. Like the typical.
It's a liability. It's an expense. We did it, and like instantly. So we gave it to a buddy for a few weeks, and he actually finished out the build, the shower, the whole 9 yards. And we loved it. We fell in love like day one. Like I remember the first night we actually stayed in it and like slept in it and ate in it and everything. We went to Sundance ski resort.
Yeah.
We go above. I'm not going to give away my secret location, but anyway, it's above it.
I feel you.
Even though it's not secret.
Yeah. It's your location.
And it was just cool to open the door and see that and just know like, oh shit, like we can just do this anytime we want. So, that's, we fell in love with it. And for the past, I guess, year and about 3 months, we've been doing it. Obviously not full time.
Yeah, you've built it out since then too. Like does it look different from when Joseph had it?
Yeah. Okay. So that's what I said. When we gave it to my buddy that has built out a couple vans, and he took it over for like I think 6 weeks and got it completely finished. So yeah, that was pretty epic, and it's continued to be epic.
That's cool.
So
that's cool, man. Yeah, I mean that's kind of like I wouldn't say it's the trend nowadays, but like it a lot of people are either living out of a van or their vehicle, or and you see, I'd rather be in a van like yours than like a Volkswagen Bug. I mean, you can do it in that, but do you really want to?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, and showering is a big thing to a lot of people. It should be a big thing to a lot of people. Anyway, but
you would be surprised, dude.
I know, like
I've met some vagabonds that they don't really believe in the shower. They think it's a little too modern.
Yeah, like they have the dreads that they don't actually try to have. You know?
Yeah,
I mean?
exactly.
I mean,
There's rappers in it.
Yeah, pretty much. But yeah, let's jump into that. So with Joseph, so automation is a huge thing with you and Kat right now. So what is it? How do people get into it? How did you get into it? All that stuff.
Yeah. So my buddy's been doing it. He has a pretty cool story too. And you'll have to have him on.
I'll have to talk to him.
But he got out of the military, I think in 14 and, didn't want to work for anyone ever again. I mean, when you get out of the military, you're kind of overworking for people.
Uncle Sam.
Yeah. Funny how that works. Yeah. So he got out and, long story short, started dipping his fingers into the e-commerce realm and got good at it, and then started teaching people how to get good at, drop shipping or wholesale, all that stuff on Amazon's platform. And then a lot of his students said, hey, why don't you run our stores, like you get a team and you run our stores and you just take some of the profit and we'll take some of the profit because we don't want to run it and you know what you're doing. So he's like, that's a good idea. So he started his company, Automation Pays, a few years back, and now has a few hundred clients. Yeah, servicing a few hundred stores, so a lot. Yeah. And it's awesome because the whole point of it is, I'd say a lot of the clientele are people like you or me, that entrepreneurs in one way or another, and want to pursue their own endeavors, but have something that's giving them constant money, not a 401k or a Roth IRA.
Yeah, for sure.
That you can pull out when you're 65. Yeah. But the idea of it is to have a platform being ran completely automated through our teams, so the clients can pursue other endeavors, whether that's just having more family time, or supplementing that income into your business.
Right. Because a lot of the clients, I take it, are probably like me. They work a full-time job maybe, and they just, like you said, they want that, maybe they want to pay off their house sooner, or maybe they want to travel more, have a little bit more freedom, maybe not because they hate their job, but just because they just want extra. They want more out of whatever their life is. So that's the whole, I would say that's a big goal behind it. The big picture is helping people find that financial freedom. So me and Kat actually, Kat and Joseph knew each other through jiu-jitsu. Oh, cool. Yeah, Kat can tap me out sometimes, but don't tell her that. Don't let her hear this podcast. Yeah. But. She's gonna hear this. Yeah, she's gonna hear.
Yeah, it gets to her head too. She'll let you know. So they've known each other from jiu-jitsu for a few years, and then when we started dating, naturally we met, and he never really told us about this, and which I respected, because he was never like, hey, you guys need to get into this. So finally we bugged him so much one day. He's like, hey, look, this is what I do, and we're like, oh, I might as well try it. I got some capital, and Kat has really good credit. I got out of the Navy, so my credit was shit. dude. But
that's the story for most people.
Yeah, so we jumped into it, and we're like, hey, why not? What's the money doing in the bank anyway? And saw results pretty quick. Got our return of our initial investment that it cost us in about 7 months. So we were super happy. And I talk about it all the time in my stories now. I know. I'm sure a lot of people just skip through, but
you'd be surprised actually. Like I actually, even though I haven't jumped into it yet, I mean, I've been kind of learning from you as you've been talking, and like I follow Joseph on his page too, Amazon Pays. And dude, like he's a wealth of knowledge, even in those little snippets. And it's very motivational too. Just to see kind of where he is in the given day. I mean, he's living in Florida, right? Yeah. Yeah. And so
I think he's here right now. He actually, that's him that pulled up outside.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I get to meet him?
Yeah.
Nice. Cool. Yeah. Right on.
But yeah, he's kind of home base is Florida.
Cool.
But he's got that van here too. So we're all traveling and stuff. So
that's awesome, man. That's awesome. So so if somebody wants to get into automation, and this is totally a plug, like, we're gonna plug this. Okay. What do they need to do? What's the step-by-step process to join if they wanted to do that with you guys?
It's pretty simple. People usually DM me. That's probably the easiest way to get a hold of me, just because everyone has social media. Right. So just DMing. Send
them a fax.
Send me, page me, please. So yeah, I usually just a DM, and I have some information that I give to people usually because I don't want people to get in over their head.
Oh yeah,
so
for sure.
I usually give people information. I got a few informational videos that they should watch and a contract that they should read, obviously, to see what it entails.
Yeah.
And then if it feels like it's a good fit for them, then boom, it's pretty quick. That being said, it isn't for everyone. You know?
No, it isn't.
That's just the thing. I've turned people away a lot of times, just because it is a couple important things are to have an investment mindset, a business entrepreneur mindset of this isn't something that this isn't crypto that you might toss $100 into and become a millionaire.
You're starting a business, and so with every business there's capital involved.
Yes.
Right. And that's kind of the thing. There is always an initial investment with this stuff, and that's with anything. Like if you wanted to start a hair salon, if you wanted to start a car repair business,
exactly.
E-commerce, it's the same thing. It's just a little more hands off.
Yes.
So to speak.
Yeah, absolutely. So some of the important things for people that are interested, right? Definitely capital, being comfortable with making the initial investment and, not seeing that back for a while. Typically it's well within a year, which is awesome. That's great ROI.
Yeah, that's great.
Because, if you look at most business models, especially brick and mortar, you're not seeing a profitable business if it doesn't fail, usually in 3 to 5 years.
Exactly.
So it is pretty cool. It is pretty quick turnaround, but definitely having that mindset of, okay, this is something that is going to have longevity. And I'm looking at this down the road 2-3 years from now, what it's going to do for me and my kids and how it's going to set us up. Good credit scores is actually pretty essential.
Yeah, for sure.
Because most clients actually, the team will float sales on credit cards, which is cool because you can actually get a lot of benefits from racking up Sky Mile points.
For sure.
Like our Amazon card is attached to one of our stores, like a Prime card.
Yeah.
And we looked at the other day, we had like $700 or something on
dude.
Amazon. So
like from return credit things that you can get from the sales and purchases and stuff.
But yeah, those couple things right there, and like I said, having that clear mindset of, hey, this is something that's going to be beneficial in the long run.
It's long term. It's not, like you said, I liked your example with, it's not crypto where you just throw a couple $100 in it and you make $50 back. It's not that kind of thing. Like you do a big investment, like the return on investment is larger because it's long term, which is good.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So. And like I said, the main point behind it, and what really intrigued me about it, and is what has kind of inspired me to, you could say I'm like a glorified affiliate for Buddy Joseph, right? I promote it a lot, and the reason I feel comfortable doing that is just because of my personal experience. A couple of my friends that I've done it too have great experiences too, great numbers, have received their ROI, and it's cool knowing that there's something out there like that that can free up. We're all about financial freedom.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And whatever that looks like, it looks different for everyone. But yeah,
that's cool.
In short, that's
So with all of that stuff, I mean, all of Joseph's clients, they probably come from all over the country, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, do you have any international people?
We do actually.
Yeah.
We do.
Cool.
Yeah. So we got some people in Mexico.
Okay. Yeah.
And then I think we have some Canadians, and then I don't know besides that, but
all good, man.
Yeah.
No, that's really cool. So yeah, I know that Joseph had people do like an affiliate link. Does that help if I like put that in the description for people to go and look at? I don't.
Yeah. Well, so that's a link. We're actually working on that link right now for people that send over people.
Gotcha.
Like let's say you had a friend.
Yes.
And you sent that friend over. We'd make sure, okay, Adan sent, Jorge.
Yeah.
And Jorge got, 6 stores.
Why he got to be Jorge?
Jorge got 6 stores because he's in the cartel and he has the money.
He's got his
I don't think I have to edit
his Coke money. No, you're good.
But so that way we can make sure to actually get you.
Yeah. Okay. And I think I have one. So yeah, I'll throw that in the description. Yeah, and be sure to mention Alex and myself and everything. And
I'm gonna pay you in pesos though.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, perfect.
Actually, I prefer yen. Thank you.
Tacos.
Yeah. Tacos and mariscos.
Yes. That's good pay.
Yeah. So aside from all of that, I mean, so as far as like Amazon, they can do different stores in there too. Like there's Amazon, Walmart. What is there anything else?
Yeah.
Like,
So
you guys are working on?
we are working on Facebook, but the two that are up and running, and they're most profitable are A, Walmart, and B, Amazon. And we're really excited. We are testing right now some new programs for Walmart and Amazon.
Oh, cool.
They're going to be higher buy-ins, but they're going to have higher profit margins, lower risk factors and stuff. So we're excited about that. That should be live hopefully this next month.
Dude, that's
so
cool.
yeah, that'll be something to stay tuned for.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Check out. There'll be lots of Instagram handles in the description. Be sure to just follow all of them for this information. I think a lot of people nowadays are searching for that financial freedom, and so I think this is a really good opportunity to jump into. But like you said, there is a vetting process. I mean, it's not for everybody. Don't be disappointed if it's just not for you. That's okay. There's other things. Yeah,
sometimes it's not the right right timing.
Yeah, so. Exactly. Yeah, that's great. So you guys know. So speaking of you guys do a lot of fitness, right? Like
you say you guys.
I'm saying you and your girlfriend.
Mostly her.
Okay. But I mean, I see your stories, and you're at the gym and all that stuff. I mean, do you have like a workout regimen that you do, or? Oh,
you know what? I'll be straight up honest. Right now, if I could work out, then I'm happy.
Sure.
So
okay.
Just with current life and stuff. But she has a very kick-ass program.
Yeah.
She's on that app. I think it's called Playbook.
Yes.
So that's a big fitness app.
Yep.
So Kat Loya, I think is her name on there.
That's cool.
So she's been doing a lot of kettlebell stuff actually lately. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, dude.
She just swings around this friggin' metal ball and is in great shape. So it works.
Insane. Like I always wondered that. Like I've tried kettlebell for a lot of the time that I've worked out in my life, but like I don't know. Maybe it's just like I need to make it heavier or something like that because I'm just like swinging it. I'm like, oh yeah, this is good.
Yeah, I know. I feel you.
Yeah, but
there's an art to it, I guess.
I'm like, my back hurts. Yeah, so there's definitely an art to it. If I'm doing it wrong, I should probably consult with her and see.
Yeah.
But yeah, so she owned a gym, and I could probably have her on in the podcast in the future. But I mean, can you tell me a little bit about that? I mean, is she with her gym and stuff? I mean,
So she ran actually the top all women's boot camp in San Diego County. That's pretty badass. So probably in all Southern California. I don't know of another all women's boot camp in Southern California that had the success she did. So she ran that for about 6 years and just crushed it. I think she had like 2,500 clients come through her doors and have real results. And then when the pandemic hit, obviously it was time to close the doors and go online.
That's unfortunate, but yeah, but I mean, she's still teaching classes right now?
Yeah, so she does, like I said, she has the app.
Yeah, that's right.
Playbook, and she uploads a lot of content to it and like meal programs.
And people pay like a subscription.
Exactly.
It's like an OnlyFans for
it's like an
fitness. Yeah, for fitness nerds, like
they opened up to fitness now.
I'm sure they did.
So
gosh, that whole platform is just so weird.
It is interesting though. Kind of on that note about of fitness is the way, and not just the fitness industry, the gun industry.
Oh yeah,
are being oversaturated with so many, and I mean this in the most respectful way, but so many unqualified people, and that's been frustrating for her. She kind of like home built, like very all natural, doesn't really supplement, and has just absolutely worked her ass off for everything she has. And you get the girl up the street that's 19 and just drinks fraps all day and it goes right to her butt, and now she has a booty program.
Dude, that's the thing. Like, it's hard to vet like what like on social media, because like you can basically present yourself however you want. And so you probably see that a lot in the fitness industry, where you get these influencers that maybe work out twice a week, if that, and they look good naturally.
Dude, I see it at the gym. It's like sad. Like I see
probably hear more in Utah County, man.
Setting up their film equipment, and then they do a couple like little friggin' random bend overs with their booty bands, and then they're gone. And I'm like, oh damn, they're probably making $12,000 a month.
Yeah, dude. I just need to do like an OnlyFans with just my feet. Maybe that'll get some, you know what I mean?
Yeah, do they have one for like love handles? Because I have these beautiful love handles.
Dude, there's only one way to find out.
That's true.
Yeah, you post those pictures of your midriff.
Yep. Someone's gonna steal that idea and become a millionaire.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, and here we are. Just whatever.
Well,
but yeah, so dude, that's crazy though. Like with the fitness industry, I mean, I haven't really interviewed a whole lot of people that are in that industry. I know you really aren't in the industry, but you're affiliated with people that are.
Yeah.
And so like I don't know, it's just one of those things that it's very similar to the gun industry where it's like saturated with just like you've got your FUDs, people that like the old school, type of, and then you've got the new people that are doing like all these cool new programs, clean eating things and all this stuff. And then you've got like the people that just kind of do it casually every now and again, it can translate over pretty well. It's just like any other hobby, but
no, it's true. It's interesting. I always tell people, hey, fitness and self-defense, I think, are two things that everyone should actively be working on every week, at least once a week.
Yes.
And they're two things that, once again, very saturated. You gotta do your research, do your due diligence. So
yeah, and like it's funny you bring that up because I've brought that up in a lot of other episodes where these people, they'll buy all these guns, but they can't even run down the driveway without heavy breathing. You know what I mean? Like I can't say that I'm in perfect shape whatsoever, not even close, but I at least try to make the effort to just go to the gym, get my heart rate up for a good hour and a half, something like that. But man, I just feel it's integral to the training.
Yeah, you can't neglect one or the other.
You can't because I mean, you're going to be no help to anybody when things do get real. You do have to use a firearm to do something, and then all of a sudden you pull a muscle as you're walking down the sidewalk.
Exactly.
Or jogging down the sidewalk.
Exactly.
And it sucks. And it seems like being in your dad's office, I'm seeing like all these pictures, and I wish you guys could all see this, but I mean,
he actually has. I wanted to point out. Damn, I don't know if we have it up.
Yeah,
but he has a quote. One of my favorite quotes. He has a lot of quotes. It's not about you is one of his favorites. We talk about that in a little bit. But one of his quotes is probably my favorite for training, kind of on that subject. Is as you train, so shall you fight.
Oh.
So and I've heard that kind of in different different wording multiple times.
I like that.
People. But as you train, so shall you fight. So that goes along with what we're talking about is, you see a lot of people that they buy the cool stuff or
buy the newest gear.
And that's great. Don't get me wrong. Like I love that. I'm a kind of a junkie myself. But you do something with it.
Exactly.
Train for a realistic situation. There's I think there's also a fine line in defense where you're having fun, or I shouldn't say self-defense, but just classes or courses you're taking, where it's fun and then it's realistic.
Yes.
And there's nothing wrong with either. I think both are awesome, right? Like
exactly.
It's fun to go around and run a gun with your kit,
and
your buddies and your helmet and your nods and mag change and all that. But also too, right? You're probably not going to be at the mall and have time to toss on your kit.
Definitely not.
When, some creep opens up.
It's always interesting to think about like what during a range day, what am I training for?
Yeah.
I think the bulk of us when we go to the range, especially here in Utah, we're training like, if we throw on kit, we throw on helmet, if we have one, nods, all that stuff. What are you training for? Are you training to do an op at, like a night op? Like, I get the appeal here.
Yeah.
Don't. I'm just
it's fun as hell.
I'm playing devil's advocate here.
Yeah.
But I'm saying like what you really need to think about. Okay, have I done enough reps with my concealed carry gun?
Yes.
Have I done enough reps with can I sprint down, run back, pop a few shots without being too out of breath? Like, does that being out of breath affecting how I'm shooting? So that's when you realize like, how's my fitness doing? How's my body doing? And I've had some reality checks in the past 6 months. Like I strained a muscle by stepping in a freaking what is it called, a badger hole at a family cabin playing capture the flag, and like I was out of it for 2 months, and it sucked. Yeah, it sucked because I realized, oh dang it, like I'm not where I want to be.
Yeah,
physically. And I like that quote that you said, because it's true. You only fill up the tank, or you can only draw from a tank that's full.
Yeah,
You know what I
exactly.
mean? Or
right.
whatever you put into that tank, you know what I mean? So that's kind of that same thing. So that's really cool that your dad kind of had things like that. And I always liked when he was alive, I always loved seeing his Instagram story because he'd always have that little tidbits of knowledge.
Yep.
And just like those quotes, and it always made him very relatable.
Yeah.
You know? He was a good dude. Yeah, I'm really sad that I didn't get to meet him. But so his background, he started off as a police officer, right?
Yeah.
Here in Utah.
No. So it's actually he has a very, very unique story.
I'm leaving it up to you to tell the story.
Yeah,
too.
I got you. I'll give
Yeah.
you guys kind of his background, and then we can go from there because a lot of really interesting things that occurred in his life.
I bet.
So he became a cop for North Las Vegas when he was, 22 or 23. So he was a young dude. And usually, especially in those big cities like Vegas, LA, Chicago, it usually takes, I think, 5+ years on patrol till you can even try out for SWAT, sometimes longer.
That's right.
So at the time, it was the 90s. They're having a lot of gangs growing rapidly. Vegas was super violent in the 90s. A
lot of places were.
Yeah.
Like 80s and 90s.
Yeah, really big problems with heroin and meth and PCP and all that fun stuff. And a lot of cartel presence was just starting to show up. A lot of gangs and cartel.
And it's interesting because Las Vegas is kind of like a hotbed because it's a crossroads for a lot of different areas: California, Arizona, New Mexico, Utah.
Interesting fact too. Utah is actually a pretty big corridor that no one knows about.
It's so true.
I've gotten some intel, I guess you could say, about things that have happened just down the street. So that's crazy. We talk about that.
Yeah.
But so he was a cop in Vegas, and he was on for only 2 years, I believe, and they threw him on the SWAT team.
Oh.
Because he was super, super fit, athletic, really fast. No one got away from him. Collegiate athlete.
Yeah, for sure.
And this little paisa that no one could outrun or outclimb or anything, and spoke perfect Spanish. He grew up speaking Spanish, and Portuguese from his mission, but
That's cool.
Especially the Spanish, right? At the time where I would say probably 3/4 of the raids they were doing were in his Hispanic homes, right? Mostly Mexican, that were Mexican Mongols or MS-13 or whatever. So they had a really big need for someone that could speak Spanish. And just so happened, here he is, this little 5'7" at best. He would tell you he's 5'8". It was hilarious.
Oh, jeez.
He always
He sounds like my uncle.
He's like, son, aren't you 6 foot? I'm like, Dad, I'm 5'9". He's like, no, you got to be, because I'm 5'8". So you got to be 6 foot. I'm like, no, dude, you're 5'6".
And it probably progressively got taller.
Yeah, exactly. So he was a short little athletic dude that spoke Spanish. So I was like, dude, let's throw this guy at his point.
Yeah.
And he just crushed it as the point man.
Oh, that's cool.
Just crushed it. So he did thousands and thousands of real world operations. Like they were running a couple ops a night.
Oh, for sure.
In Vegas in those years. Obviously made a lot of connections in the community. He taught SWAT schools, and kind of when he started to get his foot into other stuff like contracting, he taught a SWAT school to a bunch of team guys, a bunch of SEALs.
That's cool.
This is I want to say late 90s. So the SEALs weren't they weren't all popular and the poster children of badassness.
Yeah, they were meant to. They started off as kind of like, okay, these guys are SEALs. I don't think people liked to be known as SEAls back then too, right? I don't know.
Yeah,
they didn't really care to.
Yeah, it was
because it wasn't popular yet.
Yeah, it was more low key. So he taught some schools and just kind of got his name out there. You guys want to hear a funny story real quick?
Yes.
So do you know who Dick Marcinko is?
Sounds familiar. No, I do. I don't think I do though.
He's the plank owner of SEAL Team 6.
Yes.
Dude with the long hair.
Yep.
Yeah. Kind of looks like a crossover of Willie Nelson and someone else. I don't know who.
Yeah.
But anyway, crazy guy. But my dad was teaching one of these SWAT schools, and they had some cameras there. And Dick Marcinko was just putting on a show, which he's infamous for. So he was telling the SWAT dudes, he's like, you go in there and you just throw grenades out and flashbangs and spray the room and ask questions later. And my dad's like, we're kind of in the United States of America, you know, we can't be doing that to our own citizens.
I know.
So my dad called him out.
Even if they're bad people.
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
like,
exactly.
Willy nilly.
So my dad's like, you know, with all due respect, sir, I'm the point man on the SWAT team, and like we have a liability. We have to account for every round. This isn't Vietnam anymore.
Right.
This isn't Red Cell or whatever the program that he ran is.
Sure.
And he snapped at my dad.
Oh, man,
He's, you're wet between the ears. You're a young guy. And then later on, another plank owner of SEAL Team 6, Chris Karachi, he's been on Nat Geo multiple times. Like, they tased him once on Nat Geo, and he actually pulled out the prongs.
And he just like
I don't know if you saw that. But it was on like that.
Seen that. I've seen clips
that
of
human
it.
science thing. So, yeah, that was that was cool. He came up to my dad after, and kind of took him under his wing and taught him a whole bunch of tactics.
Oh,
he's like, hey, look, you're a cool kid. You know,
you've got potential.
Yeah, you got potential. Yeah. So my dad just kind of built those relationships as time went on. We moved to Seattle in 2000, I think. Yeah, it was 2000.
Okay.
And he joined the King County Sheriff's Department as a deputy. Then 9/11 happened, and he actually created their counterterrorism unit. So
that's cool.
We were there for a few years. He didn't really like being a cop there, as you can imagine, going from cowboy country in Vegas to very
urban, you know,
very liberal, not supportive of law enforcement. You know,
even then too.
Yeah, even then, I can't imagine it now. But
oh yeah.
So moved to Utah, and he went to SHOT Show one day, and he's one of his buddies from the SWAT team, Matt Willett. Pulled him aside and back up. I think he invited him to SHOT Show, and this guy used to be a Green Beret. Cool. And then they're on the SWAT team together, and this guy has some crazy stories. So they go to this dinner, and he's like, hey Dave, a bunch of team guys want to have dinner. And my dad's like, okay, cool. And he's sitting at this table with these big names, some plank owners, Master Chiefs at Dev Grew,
that's
some big dudes,
big names,
yeah. So not guys that just got pinned or anything. Like, these guys have been around the block. Some of these dudes were in Nam, some Gulf War and all that. So they're like, hey, we would love for you to come out to Iraq and teach some of your urban skills, because who better.
Because he's seen it all.
Then a point man in a big city who's doing multiple operations a night, because we just went from, the last big war we had fought was Vietnam, where we really didn't have to have that accountability.
Totally different war. Yeah.
Totally different, guerrilla warfare. And now we're in this war where, hey, people have cell phone. Everyone has a cell phone or a camera, even though, this is talking like 03 at this point. So, cell phone cameras had just come around. And there was liability at that point. You couldn't just clear a room and go, whoops. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he went over there and just absolutely crushed it. And he did that for about 10 years consecutively. Yeah. Iraq, Afghanistan, and Africa.
Yeah. And then, so how does Brazil, he had been down to Brazil a lot too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And what did he kind of doing the same thing, training special ops?
Yeah. So in Brazil, he actually was training there. I can't remember the exact name of the unit, but it's their federal place. Let's see. It's it just says Polícia Civil.
Yeah.
So just civil, but mostly they're advanced. They're advanced cool. Units. So
that's cool. Yeah, we're looking at a little badge here.
He's got this is his Vegas one, and then that is his King County Sheriff's Department.
That's it.
Seattle, and then they actually. I think he just signed like a couple papers and they made him a cop down there in Brazil.
No way. Yeah. Well, I mean, he's got the qualifications. He has his own badge.
Yeah. Speaks Portuguese. And so they're like, yo, Dave, we want you to, you're teaching us stuff, but come ride with us.
Yeah. Be an honorary.
So here he is in the favelas, and he had a lot of fun. I
bet he did.
That.
So where did he serve his mission?
The north part of Sao Paulo.
Okay, so he probably had seen some rough areas.
Oh yeah. He actually, the first time he ever disarmed someone was on his mission.
Nice. Well, I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah, they got an altercation and they disarmed the dude, and crazy story. But so he went to Brazil usually about twice a year. We had the Brazilians up here.
Yeah.
For sniper school and stuff.
That's cool.
Tons of fun. He loved them. Great people.
Dude, yeah, I can imagine, because Latinos in general, Brazilians, I think, are another breed of Latinos.
Yeah.
But I think But I think they still want, their freedoms. They still want, what we want. I mean, they're human beings, and I think going down there and being able to teach people like that in those situations, I think he imparted probably a lot of good information for them that they're still probably utilizing today, right?
100%. I still get messages to this day from we call them our Brazilian family, right?
Yeah.
Thanking my dad, thanking us for like letting him borrow my dad, and they've credited him for saving their lives countless times.
Yeah,
countless times.
That's cool.
So,
yeah, and to kind of follow that as well, your sister is a police officer.
Yeah.
Currently, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's so cool.
The middle sister.
Yeah, and I've seen certain like little like when I follow your oldest sister on Instagram as well, and she always seems to like say like, oh, dad was so proud of her. Or I mean, obviously, because I mean I see the some of the photos that he has up of her, and
at his funeral during my speech. I said, yeah, Courtney's because she spoke right before me. She's in her uniform and got her gun.
Oh yeah.
I was like, all right, it's pretty obvious Courtney was the son my dad never had, and everyone laughed. I was like, you know what, damn all of you, because they knew it was true. So
I'm sorry.
I never had a big brother.
Yeah, for sure.
But I did, because like Courtney,
she could probably beat you up too, right?
She filled that role pretty well. She whooped my ass growing up all the time. Until I left on my mission. So
no, that's cool. It's interesting to see like the dynamic just from like the lens of social media, like how you guys have learned, or how your parents, I think, did a really good job of just imparting good values into you guys. It's just the three of you, right?
Yep.
Yeah, and so I mean, just the work ethic, you can see it, and it's very evident in just what you guys do and all that stuff. And I don't know, I think that's kind of an inspiration to me, because I mean I'm a dad. I have a little almost 2-year-old, and so I'm like, I want to do that same thing.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it's cool because I mean you guys all have kind of this I don't know, from the interactions I did have with Dave, I can see that he was able to say, tell you guys to work hard even when it got difficult to do that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I'm speaking to the choir here. He was your dad. You lived with him. You grew up with him. But I don't know. That's just from what I've seen. I think that's why I wanted to have you on the podcast, because it's kind of like having a little piece of him that that I'm sure other people that knew him, can see as well. So I don't know.
Yeah. No, we were very, very fortunate in that aspect. Cause he taught us from a very young age that we weren't normal, and that we weren't supposed to be normal. You know what I mean?
You are not normal.
Yeah. He said some other choice words to me.
Sure. Yeah, for sure.
But no, he made that known to us that we weren't, like, mediocrity wasn't really an option in the Acosta family.
Oh yeah.
And I know there's a lot of other parents that teach that, so that's awesome. But
Still.
that was cool growing up. Nothing to me seemed far-fetched, because
everything was achievable.
Yeah. It was just, you just got to put in the time, and and have sincere work ethic.
Yeah, dude. So as far as like your relationship with your siblings, and wait, let me back up a little bit. So I don't mean to like discredit your mom in any way. I mean, because I'm sure she was a big role in your life too.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Because I mean, her and your dad were probably, like any parents, were on the same page most of the time. And so like, what kind of things did you learn from her?
Patience.
Okay. Heck yeah. Dude, moms are so good at that. Yeah, most moms.
She had a lot of that, because I mean, she had to deal with, like I said, 10 years of my childhood, my dad wasn't physically there for probably the majority of it.
Oh, yeah.
He would be gone for sometimes 9-10 months out of the year. So along, they'd be year-long contracts, usually 100 days off, and or 100 days on, 30 days off.
Ooh.
So yeah, pretty nasty.
Took a toll on her, I'm sure.
Yeah, but she did an amazing job. Never complained, and so I got taught, like patience and perseverance from her, for sure. So if you ever talk to my dad,
Yeah.
you know, they're like,
Yeah.
people would always be like, Dave, you've raised just pretty good kids and stuff. And he's like, well, it wasn't me. It was Danielle. He's like, I wasn't.
Actually, I think somebody did bring that up because somebody said they knew you or one of your sisters, but they were like, oh, he's like, yeah, they're good kids, and just like that.
Yeah.
He's like, it's not all me. He's like, it was mostly my wife, and then that's all he said, because I think him and Omar had been talking about that, and you're familiar with Omar.
Yeah,
I take it. Yeah, but no, that's cool. Like, she seems like a really nice lady, and I'm sure you did learn a lot of patience. I mean, I know I did from my mom.
Yeah,
you know, and I know I definitely can do better. I mean, my wife definitely teaches me a lot of patience, and she's the mother of my child. So, I can see that. But she's teaching a lot of the YouTac courses now, right? Or like she's helping with it.
Yeah, mostly Fight Back.
Okay, Fight Back. That's right.
The main two companies my dad was running at the time were YouTactical and Fight Back.
Fight Back Nation.
So YouTactical is mostly training. So that's a company that would go train the Brazilians.
Firearms training.
Firearms,
tactical
civilian training.
Okay, cool.
Consulting, whatever.
Yeah.
And then Fight Back is mostly women's empowerment classes and active shooter, like prevention classes.
Yeah, that's right. And they've done a lot of teachers and staff and faculty, all that stuff, right?
We've actually is pretty proud of this. He's trained over, I think, 7,500 teachers now.
Oh, from start to now. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
In
the span of however many years.
Yeah, in just a few years, and an active shooter, like what to do in the event of an active shooter.
Dude,
so
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know a bunch of teachers that actually were in some of the training classes, and they spoke nothing but good things. I mean, even teachers that were kind of on the fence of doing it, like they just did it because it's available. Let's all do it together, and just so they can be informed.
Yep.
You know. And they loved it.
Yeah. So that was one of his main. I like to think that's one of his main life missions.
Yeah.
Was empowering. He did a really good job at that, whether it was just verbally or teaching someone how to be lethal with a gun or
with your hands.
Yeah.
So. There was I can't remember her name. I'm terrible with names, but I saw him post a girl that owns an organization that teaches women how to fight. She was on the fence about guns in general, and then she met your dad. And he introduced her to like, okay, hey, you need to even the playing field by having me training with a firearm. I can't remember the page. I want to say it's local to Utah here. Yeah. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I do. There's two though that I think it might
a couple.
be.
Yeah.
So it's hard to say which one, but that has happened dozens of times.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Where people come to a class and they're super hesitant. Or they don't want to, let's say, like, face that reality that it's something that could happen.
Of course,
naturally, right? We want to shut that out as humans, but they always leave. We've never had someone be like, "This is bullshit."
They
always leave.
They'll be polite and at least stay through the whole thing.
Yeah, right? and they always feel more informed, and that's the biggest thing, is getting that information out there, so that people aren't victims anymore. That's why it's called Fight Back Nation.
Right.
Because your odds increase so much if you fight back. If you don't fight back, you're dead. Like it's just,
or you let others die.
Yeah, and just by fighting back, even if you do die, I mean, I don't know about you, but I'd rather fight back and maybe
be remembered.
Save.
He put up a fight and he at least stopped him or hindered the person.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, dude. And then your dad, he wrote a book.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Victim.
Right here.
Yeah. Yep.
So.
Yes.
Let's see if we get that in the camera. Victims No More. I think you can still find it on
Amazon. Yeah. Oh yeah, it's all there. Yeah. And I'll link actually YouTactical's website in the description. There'll be a ton of different things I'll put down there, but be sure to check that out too, because I have yet to buy that book, because actually I forgot it existed until today, because I saw it up on the shelf here. But I think it's going to be a good read. So, yeah. Be sure to check it out.
It's definitely a good read.
Yeah. So that's cool. And so what is it about?
It's just pretty much the psychology behind like active shootings, how we can prevent them, and how we can fight back and not be victims. The title's victims no more,
of course.
So the main point of the book is explaining how we can create a culture of fighting back, and that is honestly I guess you could say the biggest way to prevent this these things from happening. Because one of the most common questions my dad gets all the time, and this is the main drive, I would say, behind Fight Back and the book, is, Dave, when is it going to stop? Like, these, whether it's shootings at schools or mass shootings in general, when is it going to stop? When is this violence going to stop? My dad's, when we stand up. One of the things, and I think he talks about it in the first few pages of his book, is if you, right now in this day and age, if you go on, and there's YouTube videos, it happens every year still. You go onto a plane now in 2021 and you say you have a bomb or you're taking over the plane. Hey, nice last 30 seconds of your life, because you're about to get sat on by everyone.
Yes.
Or get your throat stepped in.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Even in such a kind of soft America that we live in, you're not going to get on a plane and take one over.
I mean, you get a Karen mad enough, on a plane, dude. Like, I just want to get to my destination. Like, she will literally drop kick you.
Yeah.
Like dude, you see all these people, like, even like the whole cancel culture portion of it too. Like, you see people like not wearing masks and everybody gangs up on them. Just think if somebody like had a gun, on a plane, or saying they were hijacking, dude, those same people probably be on them, because they don't want to see another 9/11.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the whole point. I mean, we haven't had barely any, if any, hijacking, like successful hijackings in America since
Thank
September
goodness.
11th. And that's because of that. So my dad explains that, and that's really the mindset behind behind Fight Back and teaching people to fight back, is these things will stop once people receive resistance. Because obviously they've become brazen enough to want to do something, like take something over, or to harm you or your family or whatever. They see you as for example, if you're a mom walking with her 3 kids out of the grocery store, this guy decides to rob you. Are you ready to fight back? Are you ready to not be the victim, or let your children be victim? I do. That's a great mindset. I always love I love seeing the quote at Ready Gunner. So for a little bit of background, there at Ready Gunner, one of the ranges here in Utah, they paid homage to Dave by putting up a plaque in it was his favorite booth, right? It was actually the last lane we shot in on the day he passed, actually.
Cool.
Me and him had shot in that lane.
That's cool.
So we kind of christened it.
I'm sure he didn't have a favorite, but I'm sure he loved going there regardless.
Exactly.
Okay. Yeah. So there's a quote there. Do you know the quote off the top of my head? I don't want to misquote it.
Yeah. It's one of his longer ones. So
let me see if I can find it. Because there might be a picture of it on
something about
where would I find it? That would be on Ready Gunners?
Maybe.
Let me see, or I could even go back to YouTac, but we don't have. I can put it down in the description below. But I don't know. It basically, like, it kind of goes along the lines of that. It's not about you, right? What does he mean by that when he says it's not about you?
It's kind of a broader statement, but that was probably his most staple,
his staple
saying,
for sure,
if you would, in life. Just because when you make it not about you, it's crazy what you can accomplish, right?
Right.
When you make it about others, you're always going to succeed. So he actually he has a video.
Yeah, he does. And actually,
with the saying,
I'm gonna find it, and I'm gonna actually put it in the podcast. I'm just gonna put it right in the middle.
That'd be awesome.
That way people can watch it, but they can also see it, because he was interviewed by the news, and he said it in the news too, I think, on one of the news channels.
So one of the last voice notes he actually sent to my mom, the last voice note, I believe on the day that he passed, he said he was teaching, actually, he was teaching a troubled youth group. So it's this group of kids, and they do this certain type of court where if they do it for a couple hours, they don't have to do community service, something like that.
Right. It's like a rehab type of giving back to the community that you've taken from type thing.
Yeah. So they asked him, hey, will you come speak at this? So he went and spoke, and that was his whole point, was, hey, make it not about you. Make the rest of your life not about you. So he said, and he sent this voice note to my mom. He said, when you, and you'll put it in, but when you put others first, you will always succeed, and your failures will be a lot easier to take, something like that. So that was one of his big, what what's that word? Mantras or
Mantra.
whatever,
Yeah.
That he lived by in life, and he was happy because of it. So that's one thing. Dave, why are you always happy? People always ask, why are you always happy? And honestly, it's because he was always doing something for someone else. That was it.
Yeah.
That was it.
Yeah.
So,
I remember the 2 interactions that I had with him. I mean, he was like super happy to see everybody. He gave you a handshake. He pulled you in, gave you a little, back pat. It was very warm and welcoming. Cause when you go to a training class or something like that, you always feel very intimidated by everybody else that's there, especially the trainers. No, with that wasn't the case, but yeah. He seemed very, very to that, very driven by that mantra.
Yeah. Oh no, totally. And I remember growing up, like as a kid, you're selfish naturally.
Sure.
You're selfish little shits.
I mean, there's 40-year-olds that are just that haven't grown up.
A lot of them, unfortunately. But especially when you're a kid, it's natural to be selfish. And I remember it was almost a daily thing, and we would actually joke about it. Like we pretend to get mad at each other. Us kids, because my dad would always say, like, "What did you do for someone else? Have you done anything for anyone else today? Did you do something for your mom?" He'd kind of get a little aggressive about it, but it's true. He wanted to implement that, pound that into our heads. Like, are you doing something daily for someone else? It's not about you. Yeah. I remember one time he chewed my ass because I didn't mow the neighbor's yard, and I was like, "Dad, what are you talking about?" Why would I do that? I was like, "Why would?" He's like, "Look at their yard." He's like, "It's long, she's recently divorced." He's like, "You should be thinking of this stuff." And I was like, I'm like, I don't know, 17. I'm like, "God, why would I be thinking about that?"
Yeah, that's kind of like he was trying to teach you, I think, perception, like being very perceptive and always thinking outside yourself, like you said, like it's not about you. Yeah, thinking, hey, that guy's mailbox is open. I should probably just go shut it. Or hey, he just dropped his groceries. I should go help that lady or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he'd always talk about it. He's like, "I don't care if it's your mess, clean it up," type of thing. Yeah. So that's made, it really has made life a lot easier. When you look at it like that, because then you realize how many other people, no matter what you're going through, how many other people could use a hand. Oh yeah. And vice versa.
Yeah. And that kind of goes along with the whole, with religion too. I mean, this is an LDS household, and I think members of the LDS church do a really good job of
people are like, what?
No judgment here, man. No judgment here. Helping your neighbor, not even because it's a good thing to do, but because it'll actually help you. You know what I mean? It'll help you become less selfish. You know what I mean? It's kind of the whole thing there. I don't know. I always try to think about that. It's not always easy to do that. When
absolutely not.
When you get the thought. See, I've always thought about it like this. When it's time to help somebody, I don't just say to myself, "I'm gonna go help them right now." Yeah. No, it's it's really usually in an inconvenient time of day. Yep. I'm in a rush. Oh, but dang, that lady's struggling to get that stroller out of that vehicle right now. Yeah. Or she's wrangling these children and her cart's going down the I don't know. I'm going grocery in the realm of grocery shopping here, but it's okay. I think anything that kind of entices you to just do good, I think people need to act on that more. And you don't see that a whole lot more anymore, which is unfortunate.
Yeah, it is getting a little rare. But another thing is when you go out of your way to do that kind of stuff, you start to surround yourself naturally. You're kind of a magnet for those type of people, which has been interesting. As life goes on and you progress and you really realize what matters, some friends that maybe you grew up with you don't talk to as much, and new people come into your life. Yeah, but sure. But you want to have that kind of circle. Yes, the kind of circle that they all have the not about you mindset. Cause she hits the fan. You're on your side.
Yeah, you're watching each other's back for sure. Yeah, man, that's good. That's a good advice, because I always try to do that. I mean, it's really hard when you lose friends. You know what I mean? And those friends, either just from being separated geographically or something like that. It's really easy to lose friends. Good people, you have a lot in common. It's just you stop talking to them. I don't know where I'm going with this, but you get what I'm trying to say? It's kind of sucks losing friends, but I'm the type of person where I'll always try to make new friends. Yeah. To kind of fill that void. and kind of people that'll have my back. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Well, as life goes on, you really, you see where people are headed, and I think it's human nature to have this like loyalty, right?
Yeah.
Kind of going on another subject, like culture, loyalty and culture, right? So whether it's with childhood friends, you're like they're my childhood friend though. Like I have to keep them around. No, not necessarily. Are you progressing? It's a conversation me and my girlfriend have had to have a lot. Her moving from California, and
it's a big change.
We come from two very different backgrounds, very different families. I saw it with my dad. I saw my dad always adapting and making new friends, and he was always going up.
Yeah.
So it is interesting how that works, but I think culture plays a really big part.
Yeah. Actually, I have a question about that.
Yeah.
So obviously your last name is Acosta. That comes from Mexico, right?
Yep.
Okay. What part of Mexico does your family? And who was the first one to come to the United States?
You know what? I did my 23andMe the other day. I don't know who's lying. The church genealogy website or 23andMe.
Okay. Oh yeah.
Someone's lying. No, I'm just kidding. It was interesting though. But so on my dad's side, it's interesting. We're actually from all over Mexico. So like I said, I've done my genealogy, and it's like, but some of the most common spots we're from, like my great grandparents and a few generations back are Baja California, Ensenada.
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
So just not even an hour south of Tijuana, of the California border. And then like I actually on one of my branches, we were there like when the Spaniards came. So forever ago.
Oh yeah.
And I think I only got back to like the, I don't know, 14 or 1300s or something. So
it gets hard. I mean, anybody that says they can get like super accurate, unless you're like you for sure know you are related to royalty, it's hard to get back that far. Yeah, it's hard to get accurate information.
No, it is. So, and then on the other side, the other majority of my family is from Coahuila. Okay. So that's like on the Texas border more. Yeah. And then I actually still have cousins and family like Guanajuato and Chihuahua and even some in Ensenada. So a lot of ties still there, but it was actually kind of cool. Kind of another funny side note. When I did my 23andMe, I've always known that we had some like Native American blood. Yeah. What a lot of people don't know is when they think Mexicans and they think indigenous Mexicans, they only think Mayan and Aztec. Oh, right? No. Yeah. There's a lot of, and in fact, most of northern Mexico actually aren't even from those tribes. No, they're from Apache and Cherokee. Exactly. So it's really cool. I have like 20-something%, 22 like Native American blood. Oh yeah. But it's my Mexican roots. So it's kind of confusing,
it's
right?
The mestizo.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I'm kind of the same way. I actually did the ancestry and it was 45% native. And so it said most of my bloodline came from either Sonora or Chihuahua. And I know because my great grandmother, my grandfather's mother, she was half what was called Tarahumara. They were like these mountain people that literally they still to this day they still have like running marathon competitions.
Oh, I've heard of them. Tribe. I've heard of that, and I'm like, hey, is that turd word? Is this is it fake news? Like,
oh no, it's a real. It's thing.
Real.
Yeah,
okay.
It's a real
thing.
My
gosh.
Yeah,
that's
like
cool.
they literally go into the mountains and they have this I think yearly race.
And this is Sonora or Chihuahua?
It's Chihuahua.
Okay.
It's like I want to say it's in the mining towns in the Sierra Madre right there. There are tons of them still there, and I have my relatives still there like that. I can go research. I really do want to visit that area because I can see a lot of my last name still lingers in that area. And then guarantee all those people are related to me in some way, shape, or form. Because my ancestors were there probably at least from what I've seen 1700 and onward, but even before then. So they were like stalwart, like pioneer in a different sense. So, not the Utah type pioneer, but I'm saying like pioneer, like Spaniards are like, hey, you're going to head over there, conquer those natives, mingle with them, marry them, whatever. And then let's breed them out. But
so they legit run Like they just go up in the mountains and run marathons.
Yeah, and the people from all over the world go and compete with them. And these guys, you know, a lot of the Europeans and Americans and Canadians, Africans even, they come and they're wearing Asics and Nikes.
Yeah.
And then these natives or these people that are from the area, they're literally wearing huaraches.
Well, I love huaraches, by the way.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too. But I mean,
they're running in huaraches? I don't know about that.
Yeah, they're running in them. And I mean, they have a little bit more support on them, but yeah, they make them there. And these guys are coming. I mean, there's always at least a good portion of them in the top 10 that finish in sandals, dude.
That is insane.
Yeah. And so when you say, you know, I can relate with having a lot of family in those areas, and I have tons of family in Texas too that I don't know. And
yeah, so it's and a lot of my Mexican family did move up to Texas. Actually, I even had some in my mission.
That's cool.
But yeah, the culture, I think people really sleep on Mexico. Yes. That's when people ask me about traveling. You know, because we're traveling constantly. Like we're not usually here for more than a week or two.
Yeah, for sure.
And they're like, what's your favorite place to travel? That's not in the U.S. I'm like, Mexico. And they're like, oh, you go to what, Cabo or Cancun? I'm like, no.
Please.
Those places, they're
really
fun.
Awesome.
Yeah, they're fun.
Yeah.
The resorts are nice. But I mean, it's literally right there. It's so cheap. It's not, and this is kind of another subject. It's not as dangerous as people think.
Right.
It's more dangerous. No,
it's extremely dangerous.
It's extremely it's dangerous if you're Mexican, especially if you're involved.
Yeah.
As an American citizen, they do not want to touch you.
No,
like,
they want your money.
Yeah.
They want you to spend money.
The biggest thing they're gonna do is rip you off, probably.
Sure.
But when you speak Spanish, they're not gonna rip you off. They're like, oh wait, hold up.
Oh yeah.
But the culture and the travel and what is in Mexico. People have no idea.
And it's crazy. It's just like here where it varies so widely by state too.
Yes.
Like each state that you're in Mexico, dude, it's like a night and day difference.
Have you been to multiple states in Mexico?
Oh yeah, dude. And it's crazy because you get certain types of music that you wouldn't find, you know, northern Mexico and southern Mexico. It's completely different.
Two different. We joke accordion, about it every time.
It's the accordion that makes a difference.
The accordion.
Yeah, dude.
Yes. The norteños, dude.
Yeah, dude. Fun fact. That actually came from the German settlers in Texas that went down to Chihuahua and started mingling their music and their seed.
So I that's funny. I actually read that probably about a year ago.
Yeah.
The origins of norteño, and I was like, that's really interesting. I wouldn't have guessed. So that's crazy. Yeah,
it's German Mennonites and Amish. They would move there, set up their dairy farms, trade. They trade, you know, marriages too.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, they definitely would.
Music, food, it's all very. It's basically, dude. If you listen to it side by side with German polka, it's the same. It's the same.
Really?
Same rhythm. Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna have to listen to that.
Yeah, German polka.
German polka. Huh. Very interesting. Yeah, it is. It's unique though, because you're in the north, and then you go to the south. Like I think Jalisco's kind of that cutoff.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Where you get kind of the mix of.
Yeah, that's what Jalisco's my favorite state. I think.
I've heard it's really cool.
It's so cool because it has, you know, you got nice beaches, you got the mountains, and then I feel like it kind of encompasses all of Mexico's culture. You got vaqueros, rancheros. You know, Vicente Fernandez is from there.
Yeah, that's true.
Great food, but and then the city of tequila is really cool. If you guys haven't gone to the city of tequila, even if you don't drink, it's an awesome experience.
Yeah.
So, but it's kind of southern, but it has that norteño culture still.
Oh yeah.
But then you get into Oaxaca, and they're not. It's like they're not even Mexican.
And the trumpets get buzzy.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan.
They're tiny little people.
Little tiny people.
Little tiny people.
Yeah, and then you go to like Mexico City, and then it's like a conglomerate of people from. It's a very diverse city.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you're still going to see a lot of little brown people, but
yes.
I mean, but you're going to see some pretty cool stuff. It's a giant city.
It's my favorite big city.
Yeah.
Thus far.
Yeah.
Obviously, I haven't been to every big city in the world, but it's probably my favorite big city.
Another fun fact: it's actually the fastest sinking city in the world, or before Rome. Or sorry, what's the one in Italy? I can't remember the name.
Vatican.
No.
Vatican sinking.
No. What's the one that they're on gondolas all the time? The boats. Little.
Starts with the V, right?
Venice. That's it. Yeah. It sinks. It sinks 2 times faster than Venice.
Like physically.
Because I mean, as you know, it's built on a lake.
Yeah.
on an old swamp.
Yeah,
And so it's-
which was not Teotihuacan. I forget the other name. It's Tecnolitlan. I can't.
Tenochtitlan. Yeah.
Tenochtitlan. I think.
Yeah, that's it. That's
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
That's
that-
a cool story.
That is a cool story.
That's a cool story.
I mean, we could get into that all day. I did
Yeah.
like school reports on this stuff as a kid.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah, don't even get me started on Aztecs and aliens and all that stuff.
oh, dude. Same.
Yeah.
I'm a believer.
Yes,
I'm a believer.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But yeah, man, I don't want to get too in the weeds with anything. I mean, I wanted to keep this like semi higher level stuff, but a few more things. I mean, so before we end, is there anything you want to plug to people? I mean, obviously, be sure to check out Amazon Pays, his account, and then check out Anchor Clinker. And what is Kat's handle again? Catherine
she
Loya?
has a couple, but Cat Loya.
Cat Loya.
Cat Loya.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. That one.
She'll be easy to find through my page.
YouTac, Fight
YouTac
Back
Nation,
Nation,
Fight Back
Yep,
Nation.
Yep.
Follow those for sure.
Yes. Very do they really quick? Do you guys do stuff out of state if people are interested enough?
Yeah, if we can get enough people together,
Okay.
especially like if it's a school.
Yeah. Okay.
Or multiple schools.
You know, and I'm sure a lot of states out there are doing their own initiatives to fight that stuff. But man, if you guys could, like,
a goal is definitely to go national with it.
Yeah.
We've been close multiple times. It's just sad to see politics get in the way.
Yes.
Which is the only problem we've ever run into at any districts is
soccer moms saying that they don't want to defend their children. You know?
Yeah, they just don't want to face that reality.
Yes.
Which is a little ridiculous. Why do you put your seatbelt on when you get in the car? Because you could potentially get in a crash.
Yeah.
Like that's just a reality.
And you want to be able to have that seatbelt on before the accident, not put it on during the accident.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Doesn't really work that well.
Yeah. So yeah, be sure to check out all of those accounts. Yeah, man. It's been a pleasure having you on. Dude, I was super excited to have you on first off, and it's an honor to be in your dad's office too. But yeah, so like I said before, be sure to check out all the links below. And also be sure to check us out on YouTube, Spotify, Stitcher, Apple Podcasts, all of that. And we will see you guys and talk to you guys in the next one.